Good afternoon. It's 5 o'clock, March 8th, 2016. I'd like to call the Energy Awareness Commission to order. First item on the agenda is to review our February minutes, which would have been sent out to you. Anybody has any questions or comments or corrections? Is that entertain a motion to approve and receive?
Make that to approve.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Looking at the agenda, personal comment, perhaps we should just eliminate number 7 of vice chair. I'd like to wait until we had some more members present. That'd be possible.
And I think that's certainly up to the commission.
Agreeable with everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Going on to the budget items, we will look at our income and expense summary for the month and then continue on to compare it to our final 2015 budget.
All right. Well, commissioners, if I may do a quick summary. I would say for the 2016 year, still a bit early to have any standout accounts. I would say the high efficiency lighting rebate project is already well underway, and I actually have another very large project potentially coming through for approximately $8,000 for one of our customers. Already through the year, the high efficiency light rebate is doing quite well.
Yeah, and we added more money to the original budget, and doesn't look like it's going to last.
Yeah, that's correct, and I think we'll actually look at that again in the 2016 budget. So that would be my summary for the 2015 budget. I suppose I could take questions on that now if there are any.
For the, we're talking the
Sorry,
2016?
2016 budget. Yep.
February.
Yep, dated the end of February.
I see the solar one stayed the same. Are we gonna add on to that later if we need it? Or can we? In case we need it.
I may need to check into that for the official amounts. I believe we do have some leeway to increase that if needed. I had not initially planned to. There are, in fact, state rules mandating the maximum that you can put towards solar. I think solar is another one of those rebate programs where the kilowatt hour savings claimed versus the payout in the rebate is not quite as favorable to the utilities. I think it's a beneficial program to have, but we'd certainly like to focus on some of the industrial rebates or even the high efficiency lighting rebate, before really pushing the solar program.
Okay, and we can continue on to the 2015 final account summary.
Okay. Just a quick summary from me there. I would say our air conditioner program, and actually I guess both furnace installation and air conditioning installation was a bit higher than was expected. And maybe not going back too many years here, I would say it does fall in line. We've maybe had a few lower years, so that's why the funding was reduced a bit in those categories, but was higher to a medium year there. The high efficiency lighting rebate, it looks like about a total of $60,000 spent in that category. I thought that may be dropping down due to a lot of the T12 lighting being replaced. I think we've gone right into LED lighting, so I expect to see that remain high. And then the last one would be the residential lighting rebate. I guess original budget was $1,000, which may have been a low even beginning, and about 13,000 in total there. We have reduced the rebate per bulb to about half the amount of the previous year, and I believe our budget for this year was about 5,000 for the residential lighting rebate. So I expect that that will be, near where it should be for this year. We may still exceed that $5,000 amount, especially as customers learn more about the residential lighting rebate program. That concludes my summary for the 2015 year. Oh, I actually may add one additional comment. We actually did, in fact, exceed our CIP spending goal by about $6,000. So for future years, I will need to monitor that a bit more closely at the end of the year.
And yet, it's good to see that this money is getting used for the intended purposes. Are there any other questions or comments on the 2015 final summary? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve both account summaries.
So moved. I'll second it.
Motion seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we've gone through the budget items. We'll move on to the home show. William, you got some work done already, huh?
Yep.
Gonna move to the PowerPoint now?
And yeah, I guess the home show, and I may move to the PowerPoint shortly here. I guess as I'm here, the correspondence with the Minnesota Valley Action Council. It sounds like they may have limited staffing and I guess limited funding that's available at the moment. So we may be on our own for the Saturday and Sunday period as far as any staffing that Minnesota Valley Action Council can supply. That could certainly change before the event, but I think they plan to be there on Friday, and then maybe less so on Saturday and Sunday shift.
Okay.
So I guess with that, see what we can who's available for energy awareness commissioners to work over those weekend shifts, and then potentially that Friday shift as well to kind of have a transition period there. And then if there's no further questions, I may move to the podium and we'll do a short presentation on the home show displays and then the fourth grade presentation.
Okay, as William moves on, we all got a copy of the sign-up sheet. Perhaps I'll put one on that table and everybody can sign in on that one after the meeting, after our poster judging, and hopefully fill up holes, adjust where needed. When we're not working, we'll just appoint the ones that missed this meeting to work. That sound okay?
I think so.
Okay, William, you ready?
All right, yep. So this, very similar to last year as far as the presentation is concerned, and this will focus mostly on the fourth grade presentation. So I think for our display material, we'll largely reuse some of the information that we had for last year's. This focuses on what the Energy Awareness Commission is and what they do in the community, as well as has highlights a few of our rebate programs. We also usually include all of our rebate programs there in a stand, so can't list all of the programs, but we do have them available if customers come in, ask questions, or would like to pick up one of the rebates at the time. And then we'll likely swap out one of those panels with low income specific information so that people can associate the Minnesota Valley Action Council display with the Public Utilities Display and Energy Awareness Commission. And we generally advertise in the Shopper, the Journal, and then Facebook and our website postings. And we also on display have the 4th grade winners, and then we usually make a book with the other participants as well. So St. Anthony, St. Paul, and Washington participate in the 4th grade poster contest. And this year we've done, remade some of our material, our poster content for the 4th graders. And they receive a Let's Save Energy book as well as a presentation showing them different ways of energy savings and explaining what the Public Utilities does. And I guess I may comment, it seems like the kids are more and more knowledgeable about utilities and energy conservation each year. So I don't know if there's more of a focus in school or more of a focus by the utilities, but a lot of good feedback when we go to do the presentations.
Very good resources. They bring it down so even I can understand them.
And I guess at tonight's meeting, after we conduct the official meeting, we will judge the poster contest. So we generally select 6 winners from St. Paul's and St. Anthony's, and 12 finalists from Washington School. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 winners from St. Paul and St. Anthony's, and then 6 winners from Washington School. And that's just due to being a bit larger for total class size for Washington. And the finalists will receive $20 in chamber dollars as the grand prize. And the rest of the participants receive a Don't Be an Energy Hog piggy bank.
So if I understand that right, William, everyone that made a poster got a Energy Hog bank?
Yep, that's correct. And those will be distributed after this meeting when we go back to the schools.
Ricky, I think we should have some of those too.
Yeah.
shouldn't we?
I'd have to have something to put in them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use your energy savings to put some coins into your bank. And that concludes the slideshow. I don't know if there's any questions from the commissioners on the presentation.
Things look wonderful to me. I guess I didn't realize that you and Eileen actually presented at each school. I think that's wonderful.
Yep, that's correct. And this year the weather cooperated with us much better than last year. We were able to make it to all the schools and didn't have to reschedule at all. So glad for a little nicer weather.
Very good. So we'll leave it at that for now, and we will select posters after the meeting. So we've actually covered number 6 and number 3, haven't we? So we can move on to the natural gas programs now.
All right, and I just have a short summary. I think hasn't been a lot of progress on developing new programs for the natural gas savings. However, I did have an opportunity to review the energy savings platform, which is used for conservation improvement plan reporting, and the technical reference manual. I guess the technical reference manual does have information about natural gas savings. However, it was difficult to separate out the natural gas programs from the electric savings programs. So I don't know that it'll be the most productive route to go through. It's actually up to about 400 pages now of information. So we may skip that until we have a specific program in mind. The energy savings platform was also a bit hard to organize by utility. However, the attached page in the packet shows some of the various natural gas utilities that have supported or have reported into the database. So these may be utilities to look at their plans, perhaps use them as a resource for expanding our own natural gas savings programs in the future.
If you look at that sheet, there's some big numbers, and then there's New Ulm.
Yeah, that's correct. And I guess maybe to elaborate on that, if you are going into depth on some of these numbers, is the New Ulm Public Utilities has begun voluntarily reporting some of these numbers. So that would include, a few of our gas savings rebates, say from our natural gas water heater installations, things like that. As some of the additional money, say from furnace installations or from furnace check-in cleans goes into that, I expect our numbers will look quite a bit more favorable here. And then, of course, if you were to compare us to CenterPoint Energy, I would expect that New Ulm will have less savings there.
So if I understand correctly, we are developing a natural gas program?
Yeah,
So to speak.
in the future, we expect to, expand those programs in some manner. And I think that the specific programs are unknown at this time.
Very good. On the furnace rebate, we're going to just keep that as is.
For the time being, I think
Okay.
particularly the boiler portion of that rebate could be looked into in the future, but there's no updates at this meeting.
Okay. And we can move on to community solar.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I missed the meeting with Meeker.
That was a good meeting.
I believe it would have been. I had intended to go, but something else came up.
Yeah, that was pretty well accepted, I think.
Yeah, I think the Long-Term Power Committee was able to have a guest speaker in from the Meeker Utilities and, or I guess Meeker Co-op. And we learned a bit more about their community solar project, which they had completed. And as far as the Energy Awareness Commission is concerned, I'm looking for potential presenters. And at least tentatively, we do have a presenter lined up from the MMUA for the May meeting is
Okay.
when he hopes to be able to present. And I think my hope would be their focus would be, I guess, mostly on the regulatory side, as well as the effect that community solar projects may have on rates, the overall rates, or potentially costs that are associated with them. I think the MMUA representative would likely have greater knowledge of the kind of regulatory climate that's used for community solar projects.
Would it pay to get somebody like from Zinnel down here to talk to us too?
That may be a
Because
possibility.
he did say he would be willing to do that.
Okay.
We just contact him and ask him, since he does the work around here, a lot of it.
Yeah, I suppose we could potentially contact local vendors. May have to check into that, as far as, I think if we were to have a local vendor, we'd maybe try to have them not promote their
Right, but what he
specific
could do for us
company.
or whatever, yeah.
My concern is even as you look at the gas presentation, a lot of these are co-ops or private utilities. My concern was how are they going to be incorporated into a municipally owned utility?
We're
And this would be
discussing
my
that.
concern, that a municipality operates under different rules than a co-op or a for-profit company. So we've got to be real careful and keep our legal toes in the right waters.
He was discussing that at the long-term meeting about the utilities owning it and then leasing it. Then you could buy into it as a private homeowner. You could buy into that and lease the panels. And the prices were really good. If we lived up there, his prices were really good. But it was just
Certainly.
another way to look at it.
Certainly be interested in listening to it.
Yeah.
Can't hurt to get too much information.
So I will keep the commission, I guess, informed about what we find for potential, presentations. Also hope to maybe get a community to come in and, maybe present if maybe I can find a municipal utility or community that has
Has it.
completed a project. And I believe there are some out there, but have not been in contact with them directly at this point.
Okay, well, basically, we will look for some more information to come in our May meeting. You're hoping to have an MMUA representative, and I feel comfortable in inviting Zinel Electric as well, because they have kind of been the area leader in that
Yeah.
solar energy. So we will continue that on into May, if that's okay with commissioners. Very good. Any other items that commission wants to talk about at this time?
Oh, like they asked about it the last meeting there, did we ever get any figures from Furmanrich or anything about their solar stuff up on their roof at all?
I do not have their specific figures. We can maybe put that on for maybe our next agenda to see if they would either come in and speak or else just give us some general information about
Also,
their output for the panels.
so I would also suggest the DNR has quite a large field out there as well. And, Furmanich,
We don't have any local farmers that did it out here.
not to my knowledge.
Farms in Brown County.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have tracked those as closely because
Right.
outside of the city limits, they're typically not public utilities customers, New Ulm Public Utilities
Right.
customers.
Well, there is a farmer up by Fort Ridgely who does have solar panels on his farm. He has a big, I think it's a pig operation.
Oh, yeah. I
And he
remember.
furnishes, I think, almost all the power for that pig operation with the solar panels.
See, that's what a lot of those up in Meeker County were doing too.
So we'll look forward to getting some further information on that. Either at the next, in our April meeting or in May. That being said, our next meeting is scheduled for April 12th at 5 p.m. If there is no further business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Any further discussion? If not, say aye,
Aye.
and we're out of here.